I'm Professor Musawinkosi Donia Salrombe, and I have been chosen to be an ambassador for the 125th celebrations of Charlotte Mannya-Maxeke's celebration, 125 years after she graduated from the University of Wilberforce with her BSc degree. Now, my connection to this initiative is being the youngest female PhD graduate in Africa. I am passionate about the cause of education and how that creates a foundation for young people, for Black people, people of different races, genders, and people from different walks of life to establish themselves in various fields. So the reason why Charlotte's legacy is so important is because it speaks directly to who she was. A pioneer, a trailblazer, someone who deeply cared about the future of Africans, the future of South Africans, being the first Black African woman to graduate from the University of Wilberforce in 1901. That was a huge milestone, and considering she was born in 1871, at a time when women, were taking a back burner position in society, and breaking that barrier of accessing education in a foreign country, and not seeing that as an opportunity for her to establish herself there, but to come back here and set up. And one thing we can appreciate about Charlotte and her legacy is how she used that education acquired abroad to empower others, to empower her people. Her famous quote, which says, "Kill that spirit of self. Do not live above your people. And if you can rise, bring someone with you." I paraphrase, but that speaks to the essence of who Charlotte was. And that is what we will be celebrating during this time. I also love how she was someone who went beyond just the principle of education. And, she's someone who established churches. She was an activist. She even established the Bantu Women's League, in 1918. And so in a context or a society today that sometimes views politics and religion or spirituality as being almost diabolically opposed, she was able to bridge the gap between the two, creating an atmosphere and an environment where strong religious principles, her having been a Christian as well, understanding that those principles also rendered her a good leader, a good politician, someone who puts the needs of their people first. So the 125th year anniversary celebration is something that's going to be grand, and I implore you to expect nothing less than that. Now, the actual event will be on the 20th of June, 2026. That is next year. However, we will have a series of events leading up to the grand day. So we will have a hype season, if we can call it that, 500 days of gearing towards this grand occasion. And so this is a call to action that everyone who believes in the cause that Charlotte believed in, rally behind us, whether it is through donations, offering collaborations. If you see yourself fitting into a specific component of the broader scheme of these 125th year celebrations, please feel free to reach out and see how we can collaborate. Please share also on your social media platforms so we can get the hype going, because we know social media is a propellant these days for getting the hype up. So that's what you can expect. 500 days of moving, throttling forward towards the 20th of June, 2026. Since we will be celebrating the milestone that Charlotte achieved by obtaining her BSc degree as the first South African Black woman in 1901, it's only befitting, that we also share the long time coming plans of the CMMI to establish a school, a girls' school of excellence, in the name of Charlotte. Now, this school of excellence is meant to cultivate a spirit of leadership in young women, a spirit of excellence in all spheres of their lives, for them to appreciate that they can be, whether scholars, academics, scientists, leaders, political pioneers and social activists, people who are proponents of human rights and justice matters in not only the country but society at large, because we are living in a global village. And so the intention is that the school will house many girls from across the continent, across the African continent, and hopefully in the future also attract young women from across the globe so that they can come and have themselves groomed for the purpose of taking the future forward as young girl, Black African, South African girls. The message I would like to leave with you today is that although the CMMI has focused a lot on girl excellence, and so will the school, the Girls' School of Excellence, beyond that, the CMMI also believes in grooming the boy child as well, in bringing the boy child up as well alongside the girl child, because as we know, Charlotte stood for equality throughout, society, not only when it comes to gender, but also when it comes to race, when it comes to all the intersections of society. And so at the core of CMMI's purpose, we seek to establish a platform where each person, young or old, male or female, Black or white, sees the Charlotte Maxeke in them. And so it's very important that we embrace and appreciate what she stood for and see what it is within ourselves that resonates with who she was, what she stood for. And also see where we can make our contribution according to the foundation that she laid, so that all the efforts, all the things that she strove for, everything that she stood for will not be in vain.